Politics, they say, is a game of numbers. But more importantly, it is a game of loyalty, timing, and power. In Nigeria today, the political landscape is shifting rapidly as waves of defections continue to reshape party structures, especially within the ruling party, the APC. Old alliances are being tested, new power blocks are emerging, and beneath it all, a quiet struggle is unfolding. But as new entrants flood the party, one question stands tall. What happens to those who built the structure from the ground up? That's why we chose this topic, defection politics. Will long-standing APC members lose out to new power brokers? Of course, joining us on this one is Honorable Omolaja Olaoye and Afolabi Afolami. And Samson Balogun is my name. Recent defections into the APC may signal growth, but they have also stirred muted tensions within the party. Long-standing members who labored to build its foundation now watch as former rivals are welcomed and in some cases quickly elevated. This raises concerns about loyalty, fairness, and internal balance. If those who held the party together begin to feel sidelined, it could trigger discontent, weaken grassroots structure, and even spark internal division. This challenge is not new in the APC. This challenge for the APC is clear. Expand politically without alienating its core base. Because a party's greatest threat often comes not from opposition, but from within. And will that sink the ship? Is a very big question this morning. And that is why we have two seasoned analysts in the studio this morning. I have with me Afolabi Afolami, who joins us with his wealth of experience in the political monitoring across Nigeria, and an APC chieftain, Honorable Omolaja Olaoye, also a seasoned political analyst. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, Samson. Good to be here.
Good morning to you, Samson. It's nice to be here. And good morning to you, viewer at home, for listening and watching us.
Let's talk about the All Progressives Congress. As a story drops, it keeps developing. We are now seeing new alliances. And to avoid a repeat of what we saw in Oyo State in 2019, and of course in 2023, what should the APC do differently? However, a lot is going on. Even those who were never thought to be joining, to think they would join the APC. Some of them are already in the APC, and some of them are even packing their bags. Most notably, there was a story that broke the day before yesterday, that there is a likelihood that one of the strongest PDP governors, in person of Bala Mohammed, might even join the party today. So, if he joins the party, what happens to Seyi Makinde of Oyo State? That's a very big question. So, when Seyi Makinde was made the chairman of the Governors Forum, there were about 13 governors in the PDP. And as we speak today, they have just 2. And that is only the chairman and the vice chairman of the PDP Governors Forum, which is Seyi Makinde and Bala Mohammed of Bauchi. There's a lot to unpack on this one. But I will start with Honorable Omolaja Olaoye. This is your political party. And you have seen things unfold since the AD of then metamorphosed into the APC of today. A lot has happened. Yeah. There were internal crises. But your party sorted it out. But another one is looming. How do you intend to sort it out? If people like you, who stayed in the party, feel sidelined in the end, what will happen to your party?
Oh, thank you very much. Samson, is a very good question, and this is a very good topic today. I need to inform you that APC have been developing for a very long time. Now we are growing. We are growing stronger and stronger. Like the question you ask, what is going to be my fate if new intakes comes to the party? One thing about life is it's only the fittest that survives. Party is being built. Party is being established constitutionally. And it allows for you not to debar anybody from joining the political party. We must have freedom of association. That is why, and the beautiful things in life is that when you don't see challenges, you don't know how to grow. You are not going to think about how even you are going to grow. By the time party politics mustn't be, it is my own. When you keep saying it's your own, that means you are going to be left alone and you are not going to grow at all. You are not going to develop at all. You need new faces, you need new heads, you need new brains, people that can be able to contribute.
What if the new entrants are stronger than you?
Yes,
and they sweep you aside. What will happen? You are going to the camp to accord party just like you did the last time.
If you monitor what is going on in our state right now, we have seen a situation where new intakes took over the party, and they make sure they sideline those who have been in the party for a very long time.
That is Jagba tactics.
That is Jagba tactics. And what is unfolding right now? Because when those who has been sidelined and pushed out came back, they become stronger and stronger, and people can be able to compare the one who did Jagba and those who are coming, because the mentality of mobilization is always different. That is for you to know. If I stay in the place, if I say it is my own, I'm not going to allow anybody, that means I'm not going to grow. We have seen what is happening in PDP. We are bad. Even the founding fathers, who are the PDP members, has been hijacked by some egocentric or probably people who are so selfish. And we know what is going on right now. When you are talking about, so for me, it is when you are talking about political party, crises make political party, because everybody with different interests. And when you are having diverse interests, that means there are going to be collision. You are going to have some misunderstanding and disgruntled, and which is normal. And at the end of the day, I believe you have to solve.
Okay, we'll come back to crisis. Okay, we'll still talk about crisis in your political party. But let me come back to Afolabi. The current girl of defection into the APC, is that a show of strength, or is just another deep political opportunism being played?
Well, to me, it's not a show of strength. It's a show of deep opportunity being played here. When you talk about the APC and the bringing in of anybody into the party, is one, I know that the APC before the last regime of Muhammadu Buhari has intention of killing the existing party, which is the major opposition party, the PDP. Yes, the members of PDP also contributed to the death of their party. They contributed to
their own downfall.
To their own downfall. I will continue saying it. They contributed to the death of their party.
So if you say the PDP is down, is the PDP out? Technically,
they are the one that brought down the house. They are the one that killed the house. They slaughtered their goats, and then that is one thing that they gave room for APC to actually actualize, carried out. But for the APC, when you talk about bringing is it a strength? It's not a strength, because they just want the members to come in.
Is the APC afraid of the next election?
That is obvious. We don't need to look at Adamawa State. Fintiri the camp into the party, and the entire cabinet dissolved into APC. Fintiri as a governor, existing governor, and many of his cabinet members won't go to APC and go and line up. Start from the back. It's not possible. What the existing political party, the APC that they dissolve into, will give room for them to come in, and that is why we talk about ideology.
Contest.
Yes, and that is why we talk about ideology. If it is the ideology, it means it should that after dissolving, those they met in the party, they should be the one to determine their fate. But in this case, they will look at their strengths. They will look at their political, their financial strength, their political strength, their financial strength. They also look at how much they've been able to gather. You look at the APC in Nandamawa State, go to other state, go to like another state like the which other state is that in the east, even in Cross River, that we have the PDP governorship that does the camp dissolve into APC. That tells you that the bringing in of these people into the party is not as a result of building a particular strength, but gathering momentum, just making it the larger the merrier. The more the merrier, bringing people in so that they can win the election and showcase that if we have 33 governors there is no way we would have not won the election. With our 33 governors, even when the ballot is shaking, the statistic will tell you that, well, with these 33 governors, if we are not going to win at all, we 27 is sure.
Okay. Honorable Molaja, let me ask you this. How should the party balance the scale when it comes to rewarding loyal members and accommodating new ones?
Of a Safara State, he doesn't want to come to APC, despite the fact that he was one of the candidates in APC before. He's trying to be proud, but at the end of the day, his people, that is for you to know that there are some people who are not selfish. He talked about all his followers who have interest in one thing or the other, and he have to follow their wishes. And when the campaign happened, it was not the one that announced the campaign, it was the deputy. People think about survivor first before policy and...
Okay, Afolabi. Let's now look at the new Electoral Act and what it says about all of this. The new 2026 Electoral Act upheld what was in the 2022 Electoral Act as signed by the president, meaning that you lose a primary election in a party, you cannot go to another political party.
To contest.
You definitely have to stay in your political party. The only problem is that you can stay in the party and work against your political party. Now, as it stands, doesn't mean that the presidency or maybe the APC and everyone involved thought about all of this before this new Electoral Act was brought forward. That yes, we know there's going to be crisis after primary elections and there might be court cases.
Yes.
So let's go for direct primaries or maybe in some cases consensus. So when we have a consensus, obviously we have conducted our primaries. You cannot go anywhere. You still have to stay in the party. But what about the looming crisis that could happen before the election when the candidate stays in the party and works against his own political party?
That is a typical example is that of the 2023 election. After the primaries in the APC, and we saw the birth of Accord in Oyo State. And that exactly killed their party aims and objectives, and also the ambition. And you look at that as a reason behind this new policy. But the truth of the matter, like you have said, is that even when this person lost out in the primary or the consensus, because even when you talk about consensus, you leave the hope of who become the president, the governor, the House of Assembly member or Senate into the hand of the elders, who will think that, okay, if you have to do this permutation, this person is having a likelihood of winning in this region or in this area than this other person. And the other person that they are thinking of eliminating or not giving the chance has will be having some bitter feelings. Such bitter feelings will affect the growth and the actualization of the party in winning their election. And that is why they felt that it would be good we guide this before the final election, so that that person will have no aim of leaving the party. He will stay put, he will just be there. Even though he's there, he's not happy. Yes, that again is to me, it's not a good development, because I felt that it would have been good that we allow everybody to be free to join an association even after being defeated. Like my brother said about the London cases that he cited. When the guy felt that he could not win in this party, he left for another new party and become an independent candidate. And he won. And so if that can just be allowed here, it will show that, yes, that is when we can now talk about the strength in the party. And, you know, the birth of Accord started when PDP was going too bigger for the party to condone, to correct, and to also, accommodate. And the man in affair then said, okay, if that is the case, let's form a new party where you can go and show your strength, where you can determine what your fate is, where you can put your followers, and then show us if you can win an election. And that was what gave birth to Accord. But right now, even the consensus, that is where I'm going to have a problem with the new law. The consensus is determining the new local government state primaries that the convention that they are doing. In most cases, there was no Congress. There was no Congress in APC. It was done by consensus. Many people are you just see them announcing this name, you know, as a result of somebody putting up this name. There was no primary. And we have seen the result of that primaries in many cases. It happens in Ondo State. It happens in Ogun State. The one in Oyo State was able to be monitored or condoned or put together because of the people behind the camera who felt that they shouldn't hear about our name. We shouldn't just, open our dirty, wash our dirty hands in the public. We should do this so that they are the one preparing to come to power. So they are doing everything to make sure that the party's dirty hands is not watching the public. But the truth of the matter is that some people are still angry. Some people are not very happy with the way the consensus was done. But I want to tell you, it would have been better that somebody is living while he's not being accommodated in a party into a new party to go and show his strength. That was what gives room to democracy. It strengthened the democracy. It gives people the opportunity and options to determine. Because if you say that this person lost and will stay put and his follower will not be happy, it may not give us a good
kind of politics.
Yes, and a good result in our election, in our voting system. Like people who have lost, who does
be able to move to another. Now, Honorable Omolaja, let's talk about the legal implication of all of this, and what role the judiciary play in this. Now, basically, the pre-primary defection strategy that is most common is that you leave your party before the primaries is conducted and you feel like you don't have a chance. You leave your party before primaries and then you go to another political party to show your strength there. Contest, if you win, yes, so be it. And then, after joining that party, you can, of course, if you can win the primaries, fine. If you can't, maybe you can return to your political party in peace and work with them and see what you gain at the end of the day. But then, there were some controversial and court-driven cases in history. And let's start with Godwin Obaseki in 2020 in Edo State. He was disqualified by the APC. And before the election, he moved to the PDP, contested the primary. Well, some said it was given to him on a platter because they knew he was the sitting governor. But eventually he won. And that was when the slang Edono came to play. And also, let's talk about Doye Diri of Bayelsa. Court also played a role because someone else won an election. And that was David Leon at the time. That was same 2020. And unfortunately, because the deputy had a different name on his documents and was not properly written, they were kicked out of office a day to swear in. And then Doye Diri was made the governor of Bayelsa State. Now, we have seen this happen in so many situations. Multiple cases of courts interfering and then muddling everything up. Now, what should the federal government do to make sure that even before the election, all court cases are done and dusted?
Unfortunately, it cannot be done. But let me refer to him when he was talking about our just concluded state local government world congresses. When you don't hear crisis, it doesn't mean we don't have. There are going to be disagreement because people with different interests are the one that comes together. But at the end of the day, we are just starting a new beginning. If we are fighting, if we are killing ourselves, we are happy. We did it, and it has gone, whether you like it or not. And that for you to know that the consensus we did, it goes as we wanted. Now, when you are now talking about all the legal issues, you must know that why Electoral Act was removed from the Constitution, because whatever, anything in Electoral Act that is not just subject to the Constitution of Nigeria is not and avoid. Everything in Electoral Act must be intended with Nigerian Constitution. But they knew a lot of things is changeable. Because with advancement we are having, is not the way we have advancement in 1979. The advancement we have in 1999 or 1993 or 1992 wasn't the way it was in 2026. Sure. That is why a lot of things is subject to change. That is why we have Electoral Act. For any mistake we have made, we saw what happened in Kogi State when a governor died prior to the time he was going to be sworn in.
Abubakar Audu.
Yeah. That is why we knew in a place like Borno State, a governorship aspirants were killed during the campaign. All these were not in past Electoral Act. That is why a new thing has to be coming to enforce. That is why we have a lot of laws now.
There will be precedents. Yes, the law will define what will happen.
Now, what is going to happen probably 1931 or 1930 is not going to be different from, because now they knew when Labour was fighting for his challenging President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the name of Obi was not in Labour's membership registration. But now they were compelled that it must be digital. So it cannot be, somebody cannot just cook a book and say he has registered his name or not. And in Nigerian constitution, it is illegal and it's criminal for you to have registered into a political party. There must be time frame. You are free to leave political party.
There has to be a public declaration that you are leaving that party.
Yes. But especially you do it within 24 hours, it's not allowed. They are making our constitution to be functioning. You are talking about those who are going to be within the party and work against the party. In a place like United States of America and in the UK, we have seen those who are against Boris Johnson. When you are talking about British exits, all those MPs, were they lose? They were not returned back to the parliament again. That is for you to know that the whips that we have in the constitution, the party whips, is not working. In a place like United States of America, we see what happened with Marjorie Taylor, the representative of Florida, when he was attacking Donald Trump. She resigned because she knew that during the midterm or whatever they are going to contest, he's going to lose the election because party whips, because he has spoken against the authority of the party. Now, we must leave things to work. Things are now working in Nigeria. For you to know that we don't even need to go to court anymore.
So do we now have a political system?
We are having a
functioning political system.
They have compelled the political party to make sure they vet the certificate of the members. And that certificate of members will be in a public domain. When they are being screened, that is why you see what happened in the National Assembly, whereby they said that if you cannot remove any political officer that when he has been elected, if you don't do that before the election. So, and for you to know that by the time you want to contest the election, all your certificates must have been placed in INEC.
Be in the public domain.
It's going to be in public domain. Why can't you challenge that before the election? But after the election, it is in bad faith for you to know Nigeria is now working. All those that are changing this electoral law and electoral system, they know what they are doing. And mind you, sometimes a lot of them are doing it in bad faith as well, and which is good for the populace. You remember during the time of Jonathan, about 100 and something bills were passed by when probably about 70 or 80% of members are not going to they knew they are not going to be returned. And they make sure that all those laws were passed and Jonathan has to sign. They knew that if Jonathan didn't sign it, it's going to be said through, because they have that power to veto any law being passed. So let's wait and see how Nigeria is getting better, I believe. Okay. When we are talking about electoral system,
we'll still talk about Nigeria getting better, but unfortunately we don't have the time. But Afolabi, this gale of defection to Nigerians at home, okay, will this be more or less like desperation? Or what would Nigerians be saying at this time?
Well, when you talk about desperation, it's a means from the APC end.
Do you trust desperate people?
I don't. When you talk about people that are desperate, they are not. They don't need to be trusted.
Is the APC desperate?
Well, that in quotes.
Will you trust the APC?
My brother, when you talk about the APC, well, let us look let's look at their past presidents, what they've been able to achieve in the past. For me personally, my own opinion, I'm not trusting the APC. I won't for now until I'm being convinced enough to say that it is a party everybody can be happy with, and a party that is giving birth to what we give birth to Nigeria.
Does the APC have the internal mechanism to weather the storm that just blew the PDP away? Well,
time will tell. PDP has been in their shoe before. They also gathered many people to join them, and they became more stronger.
They ruled for 16 years.
Yes, and they ruled for 16 years. They became bigger.
APC on the way to 12.
Well, that is it.
Will it get to 16?
That is another big question there. When you talk about the present situation in APC, it's not new to Nigerians. We've seen it before. 2007, it was like that. When everybody has to join PDP, that was Atiku Obasanjo 2003. Everybody was joining. And not only for the Southwest that the AD metamorphosed into ACN into ACN into APC. And I want to tell you that what we are experiencing right now, to me, is not something that will last long in the APC, because the APC can be able to do that under the power of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who is a strategist, who understands politics better than any other person in Nigeria presently, and who has been in the politics house for so long. Bola Ahmed Tinubu has been in the politics house as far as 1992, has having been a senator and becoming a governor and fielding in constituent governors in Lagos State and in Senate in all over the country. He has sponsored even in the north, and we saw the likes of Faleke, Abubakar Audu. Before Abubakar Audu died, we know what happened.
And even Faleke went to contest.
Yes, Faleke went to contest, and Faleke was from Lagos, was an honorable from Lagos. So that tells you how powerful Bola Ahmed Tinubu has been.
Yayi is now in Ogun.
Yayi
is senator. Lagos West.
Lagos West, Ogun West. So that tells you who Bola Ahmed Tinubu is. He wants to be there. And I want to tell you, after him, if there is nobody to succeed his kind of politics, his kind of strength, his kind of thinking, and that was weird, because after Bola Ahmed Tinubu governorship in Lagos, we have Raji Fashola, and we have many other people who have become governor after him that could not be able to sustain his kind of leadership style. You know, we talk about Ombode, we talk about Raji Fashola. Where is Fashola today? People said that he has become, even when he was the minister under Mohamed Buhari, there was nothing much that he could.
Gone back to his chamber.
He couldn't lead like Bola Ahmed Tinubu was, and that is where I foresee a decline in the party immediately Bola Ahmed Tinubu is out of the presidency. But to now see this party gathering momentum to talk about strength or desperation, I want to believe that to say it's desperation is an understatement, but I see them wanting to lead the country and rule the country in a manner at which they will be at every corner, and it will be difficult for people to make another choice.
Okay, all right, the APC trying to plant their roots across the country. In 1 minute, Honorable Mola Jawlawi, we have to go. Our time is fast spent. What would you say to your political party now? And what lessons do you think they should take away from the current crisis befalling the PDP in Nigeria?
You see, the problem is that when people don't learn, he was talking about Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Yes, he's not God, but he has done a lot because he's tolerant, and there's nothing wrong being tolerant. That is why he has able to sustain it so long. He has a lot of crises from different angles, and he tolerated them. That is what the opposition lacks. And when the opposition lacked this, we saw what happened during the time of Baba Obasanjo and Atiku Abubakar, whereby Atiku Abubakar seized all the power and the machinery of the party, and Baba has to plead and prostrated before he got the second ticket, and he made sure he punished him. Now, in Nigeria, we must be able to be tolerant. What they refuse, like in PDP, Wiki has been telling them, call me to the table, let's discuss this together. That is what they are now doing, because the system is now is there, and you cannot be all in all. If when we people right now shows his strength, show the kind of people he is, and giving people template, let's leave it. When it gets to the bridge, you are going to concentrate. But for now, APC is working stronger, and they are good enough field, and they are not desperate. It's others that comes to APC that are desperate. Now, we are going to see what is going to happen in 2027.
All right, thank you, gentlemen, for joining me on this morning. It has been a wonderful session with you both, and we do hope that Nigeria keeps getting better.
Yeah.
Just like Omola Jawlawi, he says Nigeria is getting better.
Amen.
We do hope that it continues to get better. So, as the APC continues to grow, the real test may not be in attracting new members, but in managing those who have always been there. So, will loyalty still matter, or will political convenience take the lead? And what does this mean for the party's future stability? Many thanks to my guests, Honorable Mola Jawlawi and Afolabi Afolami, for sharing their insights. I am Samson Balogun. Stay informed, stay engaged, and remember, in politics, every move has consequences. Let's go on a quick break. We'll be back for Trend Watch.